Okay, tonight we're going to make a steak dinner. We're going to use skirt steak or flank steak. So you can see the grain is running down that way. So we're going to cook it flat like that, flip it over, cook it again, and then just slice it thin. This steak you can't cook well done because it will be chewy. So it's quite tasty. And it's really reasonably priced, like it's about $20 odd a kilo, maybe 18, 19 a kilo, something like that. So it's sort of around the price of rump steak, but you can't get really good rump anymore, so this comes up pretty good. We're also going to have broccoli and green beans tossed in butter, potatoes Boulanger, or some people call them scallop potatoes. We won't be putting cream with them. We're going to show you how to do those in the microwave really quickly. And we're going to do a mushroom sauce on the steak, which is a dried shiitake mushroom, which I've soaked overnight. And there's a bit of sand in them, so I'll give them a wash before I use them. We'll get it all started and I'll get back to you. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is put the potatoes into the microwave. So we need some onion, so just a little bit of sliced onion, just a few slices. Just chop it up. Don't be too particular, it doesn't really matter. To the side, potatoes. Cut that up so it's square. So we just slice these. I don't cut them all the way through because it's a little bit easier to manage. Just push them like that, bang into the bowl. This one flatten it out. Again, just slice them up. Try not to cut all the way through. Into the bowl, bit of onion on top, a little bit of garlic. Some garlic there. Sprinkle that in the bowl. So you got your onions, let's chuck those spuds in there. Now we're going to put a little bit of Vegeta, or chicken booster, or whatever you like. But it's just like stock powder. Maybe a level teaspoon's probably plenty. Some cracked pepper. And some water. So the water just up to about there. Put some Glad wrap on top. I just leave it a little bit open on the sides. Sort of helps the wrap not to melt. It will melt if it's in there long enough. So into the microwave, 10 minutes. And we'll get back to you once we're on to the next stage. Alright, onto the broccoli and beans. The beans have already taken the tops off, the stalk. With the broccoli, I prefer to peel it. So if you just take the skin off, because the skin is a bit stringy, and all this can be done ahead. Your potatoes can be done ahead. You just give them like another minute or so in the microwave to heat them up. This broccoli we're going to blanch with the beans, and we're going to chuck them back into the pot with some butter just to warm them up. So the water's on boiling. Just take as much of this skin off as you can. Obviously you don't want to destroy the whole broccoli, so just makes it a lot more tender. If you've got broccolini, you don't need to worry about skin in it, because broccolini's a lot more tender. Okay, so just taking that off. So you got the idea. And I'll drop that into some boiling water. I don't know, for probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes maybe. Then we refresh it. I'll get back to you. Okay, that veg goes into the boiling water. A couple of minutes. we'll take it out, we'll tip the hot water off, then we'll run it under cold water, and that will keep the green colour. If you just let them sit and go cold at room temperature, they'll go brown. Alright, while they're blanching, I'm now going to prepare the mushroom sauce. So these stalks are so tough you can't eat them. So just cut them out. So because it's soaked overnight, they're fairly soft, but they're still chewy to eat. So we don't want to be spoiling the sauce with that. It's like having gristle in your steak. So now these mushrooms, just cut as thin as you can. So you see they're quite soft. Look, you can use fresh shiitake mushroom if you like. You can use fresh field mushrooms. I don't tend to use the small button mushrooms because they don't have much taste. So we're looking for the flavour for this sauce. So that's chopped. We need a little bit of garlic prepared. Take that off. Sort of rushing because I don't want those veggies to overcook. That ready. And again, the sauce can be prepared ahead. Everything can be prepared ahead except the steak. So a little bit of onion in the sauce as well. That'll do. Alright, get back to you when we're doing the sauce. Alright, so now we're going to make the mushroom sauce. It's on the heat. There's a little bit of oil, maybe a tablespoon. We're going to fry off the onion and the garlic. Just cook that till it's soft. Now those potatoes have just gone off the belt. Put in the mushroom. And just let that cook a little bit on low heat. So the potatoes, 10 minutes, they're almost ready. So to show you them there. There they are there. So I'm going to give them another minute or two with new Glad wrap and just a little bit more water in there. But I'll do that when the steak's nearly ready. So I'll be like reheating it. So in this you would put gravy, maybe some red wine. If you're having a red wine with the meal, put some nice wine in it. I don't drink, so I don't have any red wine to put in it. So I'll do my version of gluten-free gravy. Alright, I'll get back to you when this is nearly done. Alright, so they're fried off. What I will do is I'm going to add some water to this. And that'll be the base of my sauce. And it'll give the mushrooms a chance to cook too. So we're going to let them cook a little bit longer. We'll put some soy for colour, a little bit of oyster sauce for flavour, some salt, and I'll put some cracked pepper now. And then I'll thicken it with potato starch, but I'll get back to you when that's nearly ready. Alright, so that mushroom's cooked now. That's been simmering for a few minutes. I'm going to put in a little bit of soy, probably a teaspoon for colour, a little bit of oyster sauce, maybe a teaspoon as well. And I've got some potato starch with water, which I'm going to add in to thicken it up. Being gluten-free, I can't use roux or anything like that to thicken my sauces, so I tend to use a lot of potato starch. Right, so that's thickened. There's your sauce. Yeah, that's beautiful. So what I'll do now, because I want to use this pot to heat up the veg, I'm going to put this into a container and I'll just reheat it when I need it. I can put that in the microwave for a minute or so just to make it hot. So that's all in the container. That looks delicious. So I've got the saucepan on for the vegetables to heat up and the wok on for the steak. Now, I don't want the butter to burn, but I want the veggies to heat up. So I'm going to put in probably, I don't know, 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. And then I'll put the butter in. And be generous with the butter, because only butter butters. It's really good. So that water will actually boil off. So we'll get that nice and hot. Once this pan's hot, I'll put the veggies into that pot. So I'm going to put some oil in the pan, steak, and we want it smoking. Because this steak is very thin, so it's got to cook very, very quickly. It's coming along nice. A little bit of salt in that. A little bit of cracked pepper. That boiling up nicely. The veggies are drained off. I cooled them down, tipped the hot water off, ran them under cold water for a minute or so, and just cooled them down. So now I'm going to put them in here. You could put them in the microwave if you wanted to, but I've got the potatoes in there, so I'm going to have to dip the sauce a minute in the microwave as well. So they'll go alright. Just leave that there, waiting for this to heat up. Once the pan's hot, we'll put the steak in, I'll get back to you. Alright, the pan's nice and hot. Put salt and pepper on the steak. Let's put the season side down. Put a little more salt on top. This won't take long to cook. Those veggies are ready. Turn them off. And basically you're looking at a couple of minutes each side. Don't flip it too early because you want the colour. I'll get back to you when we're serving up. Alright, that steak's ready. It took a little bit longer than I initially thought. Probably took 3 or 4 minutes on each side. So now the grain runs that way, remembering we cut across the grain. So we cut down through there. So you have it a little more cooked than that, but you don't want it too cooked because it becomes chewy the more cooked it is. If that's a bit rare for you, then just let it rest for a minute because it will continue to cook. That's perfect for me. So, what we're doing, veg, broccoli and beans, tossed in the butter, scallop potato, Boulanger, whatever you want to call it. Steak. Sauce, which was in the microwave. Over the top. Look at that, what a great meal. Skirt steak, flank steak, mushroom sauce, buttered beans and broccoli, and Boulanger potatoes. Enjoy.